What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. That's right. It's time for the Dudes in Blue, episode number 170. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino, what's going on?
we have got some stuff to talk about
We
this
did some
evening.
things. Yeah, we did some things, and
Whew.
it feels good to be up here.
It's tough, man. Like it's difficult when there's multiple games where there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of things happening around the league. It's crunch time now. Most teams are pretty much caught up, and most games have 3 or 4 games left in the season. So it's really down. It's really crunch time for MLS, especially with the shortened season and the new playoff structure. We got a lot of that to talk about. Obviously, NYCFC, if you don't know, has secured home field advantage for a playoff game, which is fantastic. You love to see that. Guaranteed to finish in the top 4, I believe it is. That's guaranteed a home playoff spot. Yeah, it's the top 4 because the first one gets a bye, and the bottom, that's the way it goes. So we're guaranteed a home game, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the Toronto match from last week because we didn't do a show for that one, obviously, and then we're going to dive into the San Jose match from the weekend. And that's pretty much it. We're going to take your calls. We're going to open up the phone lines in a little bit. Make sure to get ready. Make sure to give us the follow: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dudes in Blue. That's how you get a hold of us. Dude, before we jump into this, should we do a little bit of roll call? Because we got some comments coming through. If you're on the Facebook feed, drop the comments. And if you're listening on the pod, thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah, who's here? Who's here?
Jamal is checking in. Felix, of course, saying Gare is here. Christian Smith, Rajendra, Roger, what's going on, everybody? Drop the comments. Let us know you're hanging out with us. And if you can, if you're on the Facebook Live feed, share this with your friends. Smash the share button right now. And Angel's checking in as well. Thank you guys for spending time with us. We're looking forward to this. We're going to open up the phone lines pretty soon. But, dude, where do we begin? Where do we begin? I want to say that I was happy with getting 4 points out of those 2 matches against Toronto. Look, anytime the team has to play 3 games in a week and you walk away unbeaten, it's fantastic. It's a great week. We're now is it 6 unbeaten? I think that's where we're at right now. So pretty good.
Yes. What,
6?
5 or 6 or 7?
Well, we had a 5-game winning streak.
And then 6 unbeaten,
7.
and we won Saturday. Yeah.
So it looks like a 7-game unbeaten streak. Fantastic. I mean, listen, we're in phenomenal form. This is right where we want to be come playoff time. As long as we can keep this momentum. Now we're still unclear about when Hebert is going to be back. There's no definite time there. Maxi as well. But before we get back, we're going to kind of like Tarantino this one a little bit, dude, because I want to just say that the Maxi not starting, the Maxi not playing streak has been broken. Prior to Saturday, we did not win a game when Maxi didn't start. And Saturday, we obviously won without Maxi and Hebert, with both of our players missing out. Angel saying that, which is commenting on Facebook. So anyway, dude, let's Tarantino this one and go back to the beginning of Toronto. I don't have a whole hell of a lot to take away from this game, dude, except for the fact that Mitrita had an absolutely unbelievable free kick goal, which is what we come to expect from a player like that, and Sean Johnson coming up massive on the second penalty against Pozuelo.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, but outside of those 2 moments, on our part, a rather dull game. Not a lot of action. Very choppy. I would say, as far as getting rhythm and flow going. But again, I think at that point when you're exhausted and you've got players out of the lineup and on international duty, the fact that game could have gotten out of hand severely, coming away with a point is big, and doing it where stopping a PK is huge. It's almost as if you scored a goal. I've been seeing some people say. So, yeah, it's I think we called it last week. I said I think 4 points was realistic out of the next two, and that's exactly what happened. And I think they should be proud of that because you were doing it without a bunch of regulars, and you're won a game against a good opponent without your two best players.
Yeah, Roger is saying on Facebook that the last few games we've had to rely on luck to get some rather ugly wins. Luck does run out, but you know what? I'll take them at this point. I think,
Especially because we haven't really had it.
sometimes,
We never really
sometimes
got
you got to just
lucky.
get those, man.
Yeah.
It's like you. They're never pretty. But they help your momentum. I mean, they bring confidence into the next match. And look, to get that result against Toronto, how many chances did Toronto have? I mean, they got called offside. I don't know how many times. Josie Altidore was dangerous pretty much the entire damn game. Every
Yeah, he's a
ball to
beast.
him was a fraction offside like almost the entire night. And if he checked his run a couple times, that game could have been blown wide open, especially when you had Ibiaga and Sweat playing, guys that typically are not starting. And it's oddly enough that those two guys are the guys that give up the PKs. But sometimes that's the way it goes. Fortunately, one got saved. That game could have been way worse. If this is how we are, if these are the kinds of results we get against good teams like Toronto, and we're down most of our solid A-list players, then I'm going to take that all day long. I will take a 1-1 draw against a good team like Toronto, who always gives us trouble, and missing most of our A squad. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, you didn't have Chanel and Collins at the back, so right there, boom, you're immediately susceptible to attack, and we almost got punished for it, but we didn't. And to Roger's point, the games that you get based on luck. This is one that I'll take, man, because if this is how we're gonna come away, on games where we're depleted, how are we gonna look come playoff time when everybody's firing on all cylinders?
Yeah, it should be good. I think this is what we've been waiting for. I think the last two seasons at this time of year was almost skidding downhill to a finish, and now we kind of got some momentum. We got some legs under us, so it's going to be exciting. Listen, the supporter shield is not out of the realm of possibility. Is it a slim chance? Yes, but
A lot of
if
things
LA
have to
can,
go right out of our
right.
control in order for that to happen. But
And honestly, it's pretty much just LA dropping points and losing a game or two within the last what is it, 4 or 5
three
games
games,
left?
three,
Yes.
three, four.
So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm excited for it. It's finally time that this team is kind of coming into its own, and again, the form is shaky here and there, but again, you're not doing it without the guys that were firing on all cylinders over the summer and we're getting the results that we were, that you'd hope to expect. So I think the biggest thing from Wednesday night's game is the communication. I think you realize how much you miss guys like Callens and Chanel being able to communicate in the back, not only to each other but to the surrounding players. Whether it's Ring or Parks playing in the middle of the midfield, in the defensive side, or guys that are playing the flanks like Tony Rocha. They're always vocal and pointing people out and putting people in the right spots, even Tinnerholm. But without those guys, it's easy to see how you end up with a couple pieces of Swiss cheese, here and there, and guys get by you. Like that first goal was the first. Well, I mean, even the first goal of the PK for Toronto. I mean, it's guys get by it, and nobody's talking to each other, and things happen. Again, was it soft? I don't really know. I mean, at this point, you've
Dude,
got to
you pull a guy's jersey in the box, you're
Yeah.
gonna get called
I mean, at this point, the
with
best thing I can
VAR.
say, keep your hands to yourself. Keep them down and just try to body the guy. And
Yeah,
you want to push him with your chest, with your shoulders, but don't put your hands on him because whether it's all you have to do is literally put your hands up and be on the guy, and if he falls, even if you go to VAR, that video
won't
replay
get called.
looks like it looks like it can look much worse than it is. So again,
Yeah.
that one I think might have looked a little worse than it was.
Excuse me.
I think a little embellishment, but again, if you look like you're violating the rules, it's more than likely going to get called. So that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, the last thing I want to touch on in this game, other than the fact that we got a result against a game that we probably could have easily lost, was at the end the Mavinga Tati debacle there. And again, like just to obviously clear it up, I think who was the was it Penso? Was Chris Penso the referee?
Yeah.
on Wednesday night. Could be. I don't freaking remember anymore. It's so
I think
far away.
yes,
This is what happens when the game's so far away. But anyway, I'm sure if it was Chris Penso, I hope I'm right. But the foul was committed. Tati committed the foul on Mavinga, pulled his jersey before Mavinga's hands went up. So and bloodied his face a little bit. So obviously that's why there was no PK called for on the play there. But look, should that have been a red? And that's my question to you guys in the comments is, would you have given a red card to Mavinga for the violent conduct? Obviously, it was not. It was after the whistle had blown, so nothing could have been done as far as like impacting the game, and that's the trouble for me. You know, if two players, if the whistle's blown and the play goes dead, and two players start duking it out and start throwing punches, those guys are going to get reds, right? More often than not, they're going to get reds. You put hands to the face after the whistle's blown. We've seen it happen to Monterita most recently with the attempted headbutt, and you know whistle's dead, gets a red card. So in my opinion, I think he could have gotten a red, but I understand in the nature of the game, the timing of the game, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I also don't think he realizes where Tati's body position is in that case. He might think he's throwing his hand out to, into a chest, but he as Tati's losing his balance, he kind of caught him in the face there. And I think ultimately you're responsible for what your hands do, whether you're in the box or with a handball or whether you're fouling somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't honestly, it's like it's a toss up. It really is toss up at that point. And I think, is it card worthy? Yeah, I think you're a little reckless. And when you talk about reckless, I think that's when the cards end up coming out. So I mean, yellow. I think yellow we can all agree upon should have been,
Yeah.
have been handed out.
Yeah.
I think yellow is easily warranted. As far as red goes, I just don't. I just don't know. I don't know if there was intent there or not.
Could have almost gone either way. But let's move on, dude, because that was pretty much the last thing I wanted to touch on that. We're gonna move on to San Jose because that was another one. So,
do you know the way to? I'm sorry. Listen, you have to do it.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us for episode 170. We'll be back on Monday night for episode 171, and that's that.
Welcome
anyway,
to Got Talent.
Unbelievable. Oh, jeez. So this was an interesting game, and we're gonna open up the phone lines shortly because I think we should talk with the people about this match because this was a big win at a time where we definitely needed it. Jamal is saying Furcus. We're trying to stay focused here. Let me throw it up here. Oh, there it is. It's like this Furcus GIF that I made is like my equivalent of an audio drop on a radio show. So if you're listening on the pod, I'm sorry. Go watch the video to see what the heck I mean if you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
But
we got to work on that. We got to get a soundboard going.
I'm working on it. Okay.
It's just the next level.
All right, so should we open up the phone lines here while we dive into this? Because I know I had some people wanted to try to call in here. Let's do it. 646-535-7982. Get on the phone with the dudes in blue. We're going to talk about NYCFC in San Jose. It rhymes, man. I like saying it. 646-535-7982. Get on the horn with the dudes in blue.
That's amazing. It really is.
It writes itself, dude. It writes itself.
It's awesome.
I didn't pick the number. It was given to me. It was like a gift from the soccer gods. Anyway, 20 minutes in, Wando extends the old MLS goal-scoring record there with a really nice goal, I got to say. Good build-up play, nice pass, and a great finish. And with that, we're going to take our first call, dude.
Let's do it.
Whoa. What's going on? You're on with the dudes in blue. Who's this?
Christian from Jersey, guys. How you guys doing?
Oh,
what's up, buddy?
You're... Sorry, I got to do a little shout Felix there.
Christian, great goal from Wando, right? Come on.
What happened?
Great goal from Wando.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have that in 2014, 5 years ago.
Listen, the dude's still kicking. Give him a break.
I'm never going to get over it. The guy's worthless in my eyes forever. Never forgive him.
Christian Smith, everybody. That's all good.
Yep.
No. Listen, so what'd you make of the result against San Jose?
The result against San Jose, very. I mean, it's about as good as it's going to get without Maxi in there. Tajiri Shradi adjusted pretty well in the attack in midfield. He had that beautiful pass to Matrica for that one-time goal at the death of the first half. It started off awful in the first 25 minutes. I think we were being outpossessed 60-40, which is rare considering that we were at home and we usually dictate the pace of play, not just at home, but pretty much everywhere. Even when we lose, we seem to have 60% possession. But they figured it out. They figured it out late in the first half, and that turned out to be all they needed. So, I mean, I can't complain. It was a good result. 2-1 win without two of your best players. I'll take that any day of the week, and I think Dome will as well.
Yeah, I think so. But it's the way San Jose plays, man. For the first 20 minutes or so, they're just notorious for just pressing like crazy and just trying to win that ball high up, and that's just how they play. And at Yankee Stadium, it's definitely it's a little bit easier to do if you're coming into our field and trying to play like that. I mean, we've fallen victim to that countless times against other teams like Red Bull, and just that's what happens, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's just you have to avoid those trap games, and I felt like this was the classic trap game, especially after the way the Toronto result went. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, I mean, I guess you have to take it. It wasn't pretty. Sean Johnson actually had to make 2 huge saves right in the beginning of the second half. So thank God for that. He's been really good this week since he came back from the U.S. team. And Keaton Parks, honestly, was the star of the entire show for me. He was pretty dominant in that midfield all game. And thank God we had him to shore it up, because it's nice to have that guy who has a good balance of defense and creation in that midfield, especially at that number 8 position, since Angel Herrera is no longer there.
Dude, how many times is Gary Treenames going to have an opportunity at goal and just not get one? I mean, for the love of God, this dude needs a goal.
I think, for me, I think he had a better game, even though it's not going in for him. I think he had a much better game on Saturday. But again, I think you're asking a lot of a guy who's coming in, who's just learning his teammates. He's coming in the second window, so he's got to get acclimated rather quickly. I think his work ethic was fantastic for this game, and I have no doubt that it'll come for him. I think he's just gonna have to. He's gonna have to do what he did for his first one. He's gonna have to get into dirty areas and clean up the garbage a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Christian, how confident are you going into the last 4 games before we let you jump?
I like it as long as that we can get Maxi back to full health, and hopefully Hebert's back, sooner than later. I feel like I like our chances. It seems like we're getting Ishmael Tajiri Shradi back at the right time. Tati Castellanos, we need to see more of him in the number 9. He hasn't been very solid in these last 2 games. Yeah, he's very streaky. We need one of his good streaks to happen. But overall, I like our chances. I definitely like our chances to win the East, because we're 5 points clear right now as we speak. We have Philly at the end of the season, so we pretty much control our own destiny. And with 2 more wins or so, and maybe 1 dropped game from Philadelphia, not entirely great at math, but I'd say that we can pretty much wrap up the Eastern Conference race and just focus on the playoffs and focus on hosting, where we're hard to beat. And we've only got 1 more home game for the regular season, so we need to make that one count against Atlanta. Overall, I'm pretty happy about it. Also, I'm going to be at that Atlanta game, so if you guys are going to be there, let's get together or something before the game.
Oh yeah, I will definitely be there for that one.
Sounds good, man.
Definitely.
Thanks for the call, buddy. We'll talk to you next time.
It's always a pleasure. See you guys next
week. Man.
Absolutely. Always good. Starts it off fantastic.
Almost every time. Like, it's unbelievable.
It's like he's part of the show.
646-535-7982.
They can all get their own segments. It's fantastic.
We've got there's other dudes and dudettes that are just hosting the show with us. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
Let me jump on this call because I know exactly who this is. Anthony Merced is checking in. Merced, what's up?
Oh,
How's it going, guys?
What's up, buddy?
We went from yer to hello.
There you go. I contemplated for a second doing yeah, it's Anthony from Pelham Bay. Long time, first time, long time. But that doesn't go over well these days with the Mike Francesa meltdown.
So, all right, you texted me earlier, Merced, and if you don't follow Anthony
Oh.
Merced, you really should. NYC Sports World on Twitter. He is the Dudes in Blue writer extraordinaire, contributor, just the man that keeps the content going at dudesinblue.com. You texted me earlier today, and you said, I have a rant that I need to make if I call in tonight. So we have another Ant's rants, but from a different Ant.
Yes.
What do we
And
got?
this one is going to be odd. And I will say that because, look, we've all talked about how bad Yankee Stadium is. We've all talked about, like, the issues that this team has had there. But I'm about to rant in defense of Yankee Stadium right now because Mateus Almeida came out pretty much, I mean, I don't have the direct quote in front of me right now, but pretty much said that, like, this isn't soccer. Like, the field makes it not real, essentially. And I hate to break it to him. FIFA regulated this field, and it actually isn't that much smaller than Portland. And it's actually real better grass, even with the turf that's put over it, than what is in, Providence Park now. So I think we need to dial back this Yankee Stadium hate a little bit, especially for a lot of New Yorkers like myself who are diehard Yankee fans that keep hearing people trash Yankee Stadium. I know it's not meant for soccer. It was never meant to happen. It wasn't meant to be there for as long as it's been there. But we need to chill on knocking the stadium because this is now a team that is built to play the way that they do. It's not pretty, but built to play a certain way in Yankee Stadium, been able to get amazing results there. And it is ridiculous that coaches continue to harp on this, whether asked about it or not, that this is still an issue that's happening here. Yes, it's not the best scenario. It's still a legal FIFA field and is in a lot of ways better than what some other teams have had. And for San Jose, who might have a great stadium now, but let's not remember when they were playing at Buckshaw, whatever that thing was, when it was the size of St. John's University. Let's not forget that that's what was going on in San Jose back then.
So I got the quote here, Merced, because, I'm going to do somebody else's job.
Oh,
I love you, buddy. All right, here's what Almeida said. It's a great stadium, but it's a small-sided field. It's not real. It stops being realistic before the game even starts. I think if this league wants to be the best in the world, they shouldn't allow this when there are other wonderful structures. This is from the mercurynews.com after the game.
That's actually
what other wonderful structures are there in New York? Like, there is nothing within the New York City there's nothing within the New York City limits that even comes up on that.
You know what Merce said? I think he was talking about Central Park.
Probably.
Well, he might have been talking about Central Park. He might be right.
Plenty of grass there to play on.
My wife was a Mets fan, just yelled out City Field.
It can't be that much. Honestly, it can't be that much different playing there. I understand maybe sightlines it's better or for the fans it's better, but the pitch cannot be that much bigger. And again, people only complain when they lose. Nobody was complaining the first two seasons when we got our asses kicked.
Yeah.
No one was complaining about it. People only complain when they lose. It's an excuse, it's a crutch, and it's a joke. There are places in England that have the same size field. So it's really it's not an is it you're right. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But it's the best that we have to work with. And unless you're coming with a solution, just shut up about it at this point. Stop whining, stop complaining because you lost. That's the only reason why people bring it up. You'll never hear a winning team comes in and takes points from us and say the field is small. No one will ever say that. It's only when they lose.
And one of the best responses that I did hear, earlier in the season when LAFC played, somebody brought that up to Bob Bradley in the post game, and Bob Bradley had one of the best responses to it. He said, "Look, we know the issues with this field, but either way, we prepared for it, and we should either win or lose. The field isn't what matters." And
wait,
I respected Bob Bradley for that.
Didn't you ask him that? Weren't we in that room?
I did not ask him that question. Although I think there was video. Actually, I don't remember if I asked him that question.
You were in the room, though.
I was in the hallway.
It's not a room. I get it. I know. It's not. Yeah.
It's definitely not a room. But Bob Bradley has mentioned it. So many others. And the reason why I bring it up now is that this is about to become a bigger issue as we approach the playoffs. the Yankees are going to the playoffs. Obviously, they're going to make a deep run. And now that MLS is pretty much decided that they want to collide with Major League Baseball in October, this is going to be a really big problem for NYCFC. And it's going to be one that not only City, but other teams are just going to have to deal with at this point. And in the complaints, if this is what it is now, imagine if, and this is very hopeful, if Atlanta loses their series because of Yankee Stadium, like Frank DeBoer's blow up and what social media is going to be like after the fact. We need to just let this go. Everyone's agreed to play on it. I'll make the baseball reference. Nobody complains nowadays about the short porch at Yankee Stadium. They're just like, you know what? Everybody agreed to play on the field. The dimensions are always different. That's just the way it is. And we move on from there. For some reason, MLS coaches have a hard time dealing with this is the way we've agreed to play the game this year. And Almeida is just another example of this in Yankee Stadium, complaining about the field when really it was the fact that he's got a team that just can't hack him.
There you go.
Listen, his team had 61% of the possession. And if you guys actually check MLS.com, you can check out the stats bar. And it actually shows you in 5-minute intervals. For the last 5, 10, 15, 20, for the last 25 minutes, they bossed the game.
They outshot us.
They did. And honestly, again, it's only when people lose do they use it as an excuse, and it makes themselves feel better, I guess. Because you know what? Come in and play, and you don't have no problem when you're doing less running because the field is smaller and your guys aren't as tired. And when you score goals, it's not a problem. But when you lose, it's an issue. It's always an excuse. It's always a blame game. Everyone needs something to blame, and no one ever points the finger at their own team. Except for Bob Bradley.
Brad Bobley. All right.
Brad Bobley.
Merced, that was a good one, buddy. That was a good one.
There you go. There's the other Ant rant.
I like it. Go follow Anthony Merced, NYC Sports World on Twitter, and check out all the stuff at dudesinblue.com. It's all because of him. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Yep. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Yeah. And it's actually funny because I was thinking that same argument.
Was that your ants rants?
It kind of was. It's just
like the ants' wavelengths are connected.
Dare I say
antennas?
Antennas.
Oh my God! You know, with that, we're gonna take another call. We're taking a call here, and you know who it is. You know who it is. Who is it? Felix, what's up, dude?
Gentlemen, how's everything going this great evening, man? It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year, fellas.
Dude,
you know,
we're sitting here. We're sitting here with all of our good friends talking soccer on Facebook Live. Like, who the hell's got it better than us?
Nobody got it better than us. Who got it better than the first place NYCFC? Who got it better than their fans right now, huh?
Seriously.
Definitely, man.
Dude,
definitely, man.
So we were talking earlier about having to win the ugly games. Are you cool with this?
I'm 100% about winning the ugly games, man. I mean, listen, I've always said this, 3 points are 3 points. It doesn't matter how you get it. We're not going to look the prettiest every time out. We were playing some pretty football a couple months ago, but right now, you know, as we're going through the grind of the schedule, man, I mean, we got no choice to play the dirty, gritty games, and those are the games that we absolutely have to win. Because how many of those types of games are we going to have to play in our playoff run? You know what I mean? So we have to win those type of games.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, what do you got?
The dirty wins are good. My issue becomes when you have too many of them. Something's got to change, and you really want to see a dominating performance. And you really want to see this team just smack somebody around. I really want to see these guys put up 3 or 4 and get a clean sheet and just beat the crap out of somebody, just to show that they can. Because I don't know if you can struggle against playoff teams. I just don't know. I don't want that mentality going in. I don't want to. If you win by the skin of your teeth, it's fine. You get the win, but those games just get nerve-wracking, and playing from behind is not fun. Although this team has a kind of
got a really good record in doing that.
Yeah. But I would much rather go in 2 powerhouses going head-to-head and slugging it out versus keep squeaking them out because again, like people said, you don't know when your luck's going to run out.
We've got.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
go ahead, Felix.
I'm not a man of luck. I'm not a man of luck to say, but I always say this. We know what it's like to play pretty football. I mean, we know what it's like to see, a beautiful build-up, and I really do believe that NYC is capable of that type of win. And 3, 4, 5 goals, clean sheet, just bossing possession. I mean, we are very capable of doing all that. But either way is gonna, as long as we get the win, that to me, that's what counts.
But you know what? But you're not going to see that beautiful football, which you're going to need against teams like Atlanta and against teams like Philly and against
Agreed.
teams like, some of the Western Conference guys. You're not going to see that unless our team is fit. So, we saw we saw the beautiful. I mean, we saw some flashes from Matriza. We've seen flashes from a lot of our guys, but when we have a couple of missing players, a couple of missing links there, it's not pretty. And I think, the timing, the moons and the stars could align in such a way where going into the playoffs, we're looking good as far as our roster goes. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Felix, we got 4 games left, dude. We got 4 games left. We got FC Dallas on the 22nd. Then we got Atlanta 3 days later at Yankee Stadium. Then we go to Foxborough. Is that Foxborough, dude? Is it Foxborough?
Yeah, Foxborough.
New England on the 29th, and then the last game is Decision Day in Philly. This is big. We play the second and third place teams both within a week or two of each other. So this could really come down. It could really come down to a Decision Day thing. Felix, do you think that this is going to come down to Decision Day, or do you think we're going to lock this up beforehand?
I think as long as we take care of our business, we should be good to go. If we can get results out of these last 4 games, even the last these last 3 games, we get some results out of there. I think we're in a position where our destiny is in our destiny is in our own hands. We don't have to worry about anybody else. As really, really good teams, this is really the time to step up and really show what we're about. We can dominate, we can win the gritty game, we can win the dirty game, but at the end of the day, as long as we win, that's what matters.
I like it. A win is a win is a win is a win. But here's the thing. My only concern is the new playoff structure in the fact that it's one and done. You got one shot to get it right. You can't go down 2-1 in the first round, and then you've got the next round to make it up. This is do or die. So if we're relying on luck and the coin doesn't flip in our direction, or however the hell I want to make the analogy, if we don't get the luck of the coin flip, then we are in trouble.
Thread, man.
What's that?
I mean, listen, I was just saying, needle to thread. Don't forget that. So
put them in the egg baskets.
Put them in the egg basket. That's it. And but at the end of the day, this club can only take care of itself. This club can only handle its own business. So I really feel that if we, put the nose to the grindstone, we can get this done. And this team has already shown what it can do. This team has already shown, what it's capable of. I think that right now we just need to step up big time to that next level. You understand? Start playing that pretty dominant football again, and we have to be healthy. And it just makes me salivate at the fact that imagining this team 100% healthy, what we can do.
Yeah,
it's going to be beautiful, gentlemen.
It's scary. It's scary in a good way. It's going to be an interesting finish. That's for damn sure. I mean, again, you want to do what you can do within your control. You don't want to have to rely on other results. So, fortunately, what we do have, Felix, before I let you jump, is the momentum, and that's what we want. We want to take that all the way through September. We want to take that into the first week of October because that's what wins championships in this league. For some reason, the momentum at the end of the season is what carries teams through. I've said it year after year after year, and it seems as though with 4 games left, we've got the momentum. Let's hope they don't drop it.
Exactly. Something. This is going to be, this is going to be do or die time, man. And this is our chance, and we're gonna have to take it. That's it.
There you go. All right, buddy. Listen, we appreciate the call. We'll maybe talk to you next Monday.
Maybe. Well, maybe. Who knows? But I count it. That's it.
Don't drop the ball. Maybe this entire streak is because of you, my friend.
Well, listen, anything I can do to help my club, that's what it's all about,
That's what's up.
There you go. Felix, thanks so much, buddy.
Antonino, that's a very beautiful shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I've created my own following.
Shameless plug, man.
He's a very strong fan club of one. It's pretty amazing. It's
Hey, listen,
Some
man.
people
You
are
know,
wolf
it's all
packs.
about the DIP army. That's it.
He's a wolf pack. It's a
Come
satchel.
on, man.
You guys, have yourself a great evening, guys. Take
See you
care.
later, buddy.
Love all you guys.
Buddy, you too. So looking at Philly's schedule, they got Red Bull.
Can I just read one comment before you make that point?
Read
Lalo on Facebook. We all know Lalo, chef, food man extraordinaire for NYCFC, says it's the momentum and the food. And as long as you are not feeding Chipotle to Bear or Maxi, we'll be all right.
Yeah, no spicy food.
Don't
man.
be giving those guys the runs right before game time, and we'll be all right. I'm sorry, dude. Please, your point.
Goodness. Fantastic. So Philly's got it's interesting. Philly's got 3 away games before they see us. So 3 out of their last 4 are on the road, and they're playing Red Bull, San Jose, and Columbus. So you've got some West Coast travel in this trip. You've got Columbus, who seems to just out of nowhere just beat people. they just want to beat up on people, and very unexpected. We saw how strong the Quakes were, and you're playing them at home.
Yeah.
And Red Bull and Philly is always a good matchup. So it's not unrealistic that this team drops points in these 3 games. And if we could just take care of our business, particularly with Dallas and New England, we could sew it up. You know, it could be taken care of early on, and taking the decision out of decision day would be awesome.
Yeah.
But it's also good to know that that game, whether it has implications or not, you could end up seeing that team again down the line. So it's a good measuring stick. I think you're playing a very talented team at that point. And even Atlanta game, Atlanta's a little bit further behind than Philly is. But again, if you can show good performances against these guys, if you can scratch out a point, I think against Atlanta, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, depending on who's playing.
Atlanta's got a game in hand. Just keep in mind.
Okay, yeah. So maybe you just want to beat them then instead. Never mind.
I think we need to beat them. We got to beat them.
It would be nice. It would be nice for the last home game of the season, regular season that is, to be a nice dominating win. But again, it's no easy feat for Philly either.
But they're 9 points behind us. They're 9 points back on us. So if again, no matter how you look at the numbers, no matter how you slice this up, it's all in our hands. We've got the opportunity to lock up our own fate, and like you said, take the decision at a decision day. I'm good with that. As much as I love the drama of football, as much as the drama of this, I don't like the stress when it's my club.
See, yeah, I like other people's drama.
I like watching the stress as a neutral, not as a guy with something invested in this.
Yeah, no,
no. Man, I just take the stress out of the game. But anyway, yeah, I mean, dude, just really quick to touch on a couple things from the San Jose game. Again, I think as Christian mentioned, Sean Johnson came up big. Couple of great saves. We had Keaton Parks, great goal, well-deserved goal. Kind of created that play on his own out of the midfield. Just made a great run and handed it off to Gary Treenames, but Gary Treenames just hit it right at the keeper, and fortunately, Keaton Parks kept the run up and wanted that goal. He wanted it bad enough. As Treenames was just kind of standing there like, what do I do now? What do I do with my hands?
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with my hands. By the way, I love how Gary Treenames has caught on, because anytime anyone has referred to him and speaking to me, it's always Gary Treenames.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. It caught. I love it. It caught. Dude, it's 8:40 and we still haven't discussed.
No, we didn't do Dude of the Week. Oh my God, that's how we got to wrap it up. If you want to get the call in and talk about Dude of the Week, 646-535-7982. I'm taking this phone number off the screen. So if you want to talk about Dude of the Week and you haven't called in, let's do it.
Do it now.
Who we got? Who you got, dude? Start putting them in the comments.
So, for me, I think with the PK save and the early saves in the second half against San Jose, I'm going with Sean Johnson. I think he's in very good form, coming up big when it's needed. And I think being able to stop the PK, especially after giving up one to the same player earlier on, I think that's big. and it was a great stop. I mean, top hand, not always easy to do, but good position. And Pozuelo made the mistake of doing the same thing twice. And for me, that's just what it is. Nobody else really stood out. I mean, Keaton did have a good game, but I think he's been having great games. It was only a matter of time before he gets the goal, but I could see people
He's been
voting
very
for him.
consistent. He's been very
And
very
and
consistent.
for me, honestly, Mitri had that great game a few weeks back, and I said that was going to be the bar. And it was a great goal he scored. But again, there are moments when he had a 2-on-1 with Tati, and if he gets rid of the ball at a normal time, Tati goes in and finishes all
He's
day
a goal.
long. But he's just he's I don't know what it is with him. He's just something about his play just rubs me the wrong way, and I'm glad he's scoring. But you still need to see more of him being a little less selfish and making better decisions, faster decisions with the ball earlier, because it's opportunities that are wasted, and they really are. I mean, that 2-on-1 was huge, and he had Tati wide open from the minute he had the ball, and he could have dished it off right away, and it would have been fine. But he waited too long, and the play got broken up. So for me, I think Sean Johnson, especially because he hasn't got it that much this season, I'm going with SJ.
Mark on Facebook says Johnson. Angel says Johnson. Israel says Johnson. Donald says Johnson. Yeah, let's do it. Sean Johnson, big time saves. Kept that point. That point could wind up proving very valuable.
You never know.
In the next 3 weeks. So Sean Johnson, Dude of the Week, episode 170. Congratulations. Like you said, I don't remember the last time we gave him one.
Yeah, it's been a while. Again, when you raise the bar, it's what happens, and you got to keep. It's like pole vaulting. That bar gets set once, and you want to keep going higher. So that's the first successful reference I've made on this show in 4 years.
And it's about
pole vaulting.
Like, really?
I picked the right sport. I could have said javelin. Javelin?
You just undid it. Javelin is a brand new sport. They play it at the Jacob Javelin Center. Jesus.
And I'm done.
Oh my God, that's probably a good place to start wrapping this up. Hey, the other thing I wanted to mention was, dear God, LA Galaxy, 7-2 thrashing of Sporting Kansas City, a Zlatan Ibrahimovic hat trick. You feel bad for Peter Vermees after that one. Holy cow.
Listen, again, love the guy or hate the guy, the dude talks the talk, but he also is one of the few players that can walk the walk.
I don't want to go too into the weeds here about the LA Galaxy and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but I'm gonna. It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So look, Christian said hashtag javelin. He said clip that. That's probably a good idea. That was about like the 42nd minute mark in episode 170. So I'm gonna make a note. All right. Yeah, Pavone is boss as well. Donald on Facebook. So the thing about Zlatan, and this is gonna be tough. If for some reason, and it's a very real possibility, if for some reason the LA Galaxy don't make the playoffs again, you really can't look to Zlatan, because one player a team does not make, but everything that this guy does has totally fit the bill for what he is supposed to bring to the club. The man has done literally everything, but the man cannot play defense, midfield, and attacker at the same exact time. So stop giving up so many damn goals, Galaxy, and don't blame Zlatan. You really can't. You can't blame the guy when he scored 26 goals. He's got the most goals for the Galaxy in Galaxy history, and the guy's been here for a freaking year and a half. Like, give me a break.
Yeah. No, I think he's got. What is his stats I read? I think he has 48 goals in 52 games and another like 15 assists or something like that.
Dude,
that's
disgusting.
Absurd. That's absurd. And it makes honestly, if you get a player like that and stays for a couple of years, you could smash Wando's record like no problem.
Yeah, it's
good. You really could. It's amazing. It really is. And again, you don't have to like the guy, but you definitely have to respect his talent and what he brings to the field. And you're absolutely right. If the Galaxy don't make it in,
It's not his fault.
it's definitely not his fault because he's
He's two
literally
goals.
doing everything he can.
Dude, he's 2 goals behind Vela in the Golden Boot. Vela's on 28, Zlatan's on 26, Joseph Martinez is on 24. Like, really? Really? It's not Zlatan's fault. So don't blame Zlatan. I know the guy doesn't need much defending, but I feel like in this case, if they don't wind up making it because the Western Conference is as tight as anything at this point. Still, I'm gonna get to the standings here and find out exactly the point spread. But you can't blame Zlatan. I love him as much of a dick as he is. He brings it, and that's really. You can't blame the guy. You just can't blame him. Between 2nd and 8th place, dude, 6 points. 6 points separate 2nd from 8th. So
That's unreal.
Western Conference ain't done yet.
No, it's unreal. That's gonna be. Listen, if we can sew it up, fingers crossed, you're gonna want to watch some of those games because you're talking about. It's not one day that's decision day. It's really ends up being the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, it's amazing.
That are almost decision days, if you will, because all these guys can flip flop and listen. All it takes is a good team. You know, Dallas is sitting outside the line right now, but they're tied on points with Portland, and
yeah, but dude, 1 point can bring them to freaking 4th. You know what I mean? Like one win.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and that's I think is what makes this league unique and great because I don't think in many other leagues that are super popular in the world are you going to see anything like this. You are not going to see a race. Now, again, if most of the leagues, LA would have been done already, but if you're looking at other teams and challenging for Champions League or Europa League spots, you show me another league that's got this many teams that could go either way. And you got some great soccer on your hands right there, but you don't really see it too much. You see one or two clubs really at the top, and then everyone else is kind of, just scrounging for points. But these guys it's so close, and it's going to be so much fun to watch the last couple games with these guys. I'm going to have that ESPN Plus app going for the next couple of weeks because it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's really, it's going to be good
amazing.
To watch. So.
It's unbelievable. 6 points is unreal.
Yeah, between 2nd and 8th, it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. We appreciate you guys spending time with us for episode 170. The calls were awesome. The comments are great. If you're listening on the pod, join us on the live show every once in a while. Drop a comment.
Yeah,
Get in on the action. Call. The call-ins are fun. I love doing the call-ins. I almost forgot Dude of the Week because of the call-ins. Thanks, guys. I swear, I was ready to wrap this thing up.
I know, and I knew you were, and I was like, you forgot something, you know what I'm saying? But,
I was like, it's on our anniversary? What did I forget?
Did you get a haircut?
Unbelievable. Listen, I'm going to go take up javelin for for the week. And, the funny part was that you actually, pat yourself on the back for making a correct reference, and then immediately
broke my arm. Yep.
Immediately broke your arm doing it.
Immediately.
Well,
yep.
We'll be back next Monday night for episode 171. Is there a match that we're going over? Yes, there is. FC Dallas away. Let's bring home 3 points. And against a very young FC Dallas squad, let's bring home 3 points and continue the rise to the top because the cream rises to the top. I don't know why I said that. That always.
I talked to you about this before, but I just feel like Daniel Stern from Home Alone 2, and he gets to he climbs up all that crap into the basement onto the first floor, and Harry, I've reached the top.
But what happens right after he says that?
Yeah, right back down.
So
just like I got to the top with my pole vaulting and then right back down.
That's like a Red Bull thing. They get to the top and then immediately crash and burn. Yeah, it is what it is. Kudos to Seattle, by the way, for putting them in their place on Sunday. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Much obliged. Anyway, plowing ahead here. Episode 170. You guys have been awesome. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. Give us the follow. Make sure to check out Anthony Merced's work at dudesinblue.com. We really appreciate all the stuff he puts on there. We'll be back next Monday night with the live show, Tuesday for the pod. But until then, everybody, stay blue.